Hello tankers and tankettes, welcome to a viewer submitted replay, and this is a slightly older one. This is an 8.9 replay and we are looking at the SU-85B. This has been sent in by Urban Cannibal and this is actually not his first time on the channel. I actually featured a TOG game of his over a year ago, so it's been a little while, but this is a game that caught my eye. I was actually looking for SU-85B replays, and this is one that popped up, and then I realised, well, he actually said in the email that, you know, he mentioned that I'd featured a previous game of his. So, the SU-85B is, I think it's fair to say it's one of the hidden gems of Tier 4. Everybody, of course, knows about the Matilda. I think the Marder 38T commands a healthy amount of respect. Of course, there's the AMX-40. I mean, that's the most OP of them all. But this thing is actually really damn good in its own right, and that's for a couple of reasons. Now, of course, it has some downsides. It has got no armour at all. It's basically made of paper, and it has a sort of limited ammunition count. Given how fast you can fire the gun, you have to be a bit more careful with your shots in this one. But what it does have going for it are an amazing 85mm gun, which has, and this is Tier 4, it has 130 average penetration and 160 average damage. There's actually two 85mm guns. The first one that you get access to still has that damage, but obviously less penetration. And, oh, first target. And also it's got a 390-meter view range. Obviously, this being an 8.9 replay, you can't shoot through stuff, so yeah, that was unfortunately a wasted shell, but yeah. So, you can see the rate of fire here. The accuracy is okay. It's not exactly a, you know, sniper in the same way that the E25 is, for example, but it's almost that kind of playstyle. You've got to be sneaky, you've got to be fast. And you can at times almost more play this like a medium tank, because one of the other really nice characteristics about this is it has a 40 degree per second hull traverse. So it almost doesn't matter that you don't have a turret because the thing just traverses so fast. But on the other hand, if you know, there's not like there's ever going to be a situation where there's somebody trying to drive around you to shoot you in the side, because like I said, this thing is made of paper. It has no armor to speak of whatsoever. So it's just taking apart these guys. I don't actually have the. I've just realised it's showing percentages instead of the actual hit points left. But 8.9 replays. One of the quirks of those was that it resets. You have to go through and set the reticle and the markers, and I didn't quite remember to do everything with the markers. And I did set the reticles, but the reticles then just went back to the default that it decided to do. So, yes. World of Tanks replays, all the various versions, they seem to introduce new quirks. You know, they'll fix one lot of quirks, issues, bugs, and then they'll introduce a new one, so yes. But they mostly work pretty well, the replays in this game. So he's actually playing this almost like a medium tank at this point. He's pushing forwards, he's being a bit cautious. He doesn't have much health to work with. You know, this is an easy one-shot for some tanks on the enemy team. Artillery could seriously wreck him. So he is using his mobility and he is pushing around, but he's doing so in a more cautious fashion. And although you can see there the equipment that he's got, the binoculars and the camo net, although those can be very, very useful on this particular tank, this isn't really turned out to be. This hasn't turned out to be a battle where he's actually needed them in any way, shape, or form. So, oh, there we go. There's an enemy SU-85. No, that's not an SU-85, that's an S-35. I can tell the difference. The guy fires and misses, it's a total snapshot. Being a French tank destroyer, of course, it doesn't have a particularly great aim time, but there you go. The other flank didn't do so well. The only tanks left are pretty much on this flank. The other team could potentially be capping, or, you know, have been capping, but they obviously decided that they were going to go for the damage. They were actually going to try and get a better score out of this, and that they would you know, be a bit sneaky, but it didn't really work out because they ran into an AT-2 on the beach, and now the bulk of the enemy tanks are basically here. There's a Marder 2 and a Stug unaccounted for, and hello Matilda. Yes, this is a tier 4 that a Matilda has to fear. It's that kind of a machine. Look at this guy. He's just so doomed. He didn't even... It's funny, he kept turning his turret past. He didn't even stop to shoot at Urban Cannibal at all. I don't know why. So there's a low health T-34 over there who's a one-shot, and Urban is, again, he's just playing this like a medium tank at this point. He's just using his mobility to get up round behind. And have you noticed, by the way, he's done over 2,000 damage, and he's not even top tier. Yeah, so he's going to come up behind this guy. He's going to plant one right in his rear. This Type T-34 isn't really even paying attention. So we're now just down to artillery. And you might think, yeah, that's a nice couple of easy kills. Well, yeah, have I mentioned this thing's made of paper? Oh, that missed. I think that must have been the priest, because the gorilla would have had at least a little bit of splash at that range, I think. But yeah, there's the gorilla, who is facing off against a DW2, and the DW seems unwilling to actually go forward and take the kill. So this looks like it could be an opportunity to get a little bit more damage. He's already done over 2,000 damage, but you know, if you can get a bit more, then that's fine. If you can get a top gun, that's very nice indeed. This being a tier 4, of course, it doesn't especially get the opportunity to get a whole lot of the medals like Kolobanov's and maybe actually it can get Kolobanov's. What am I thinking of? Radley Walters and Pools medals and that kind of thing. You can get top guns, of course, but you don't get. You know, of course you could get Kolobanov's. I'm talking nonsense. So he's going to go forward. He's taking the risk. The gorilla shoots, and this is now an easy kill. Except, yeah, well played, DW2. Well played. So that DW2 fired after the gorilla was dead, right square into the back of Urban Cannibal. I don't know, maybe he's got really horrific ping? Maybe he's just that bad of a player? I don't know. But he's been, you know, he's been fine this match up until the point where he takes damage finally, and it's from his own team. So, you know, well done that guy. But, yeah, you can see there he's pausing there to type a little message in the chat. He was slightly irked by that, as I think most people would be. So, we've got this now. It was looking a bit dicey at one point, but I think the fact that the enemy team didn't stop to cap, and they could have. They actually could have capped, and I don't really think anybody could have got back in time to stop them. But as it was, we're now just hunting down this last artillery. So I'm actually going to speed this up slightly, because it's just a matter of looking for this guy. There's a very good chance the Panzer 1C will kill the priest, because obviously the Panzer 1C with his rate of fire could just easily kill an M7 priest without, you know, without too much difficulty at all. The AT2 is also coming around from the other side. There we go, there's the priest. I think Panzer 1C manages like one shell. There we go, he's unloading, but he doesn't actually manage to kill the guy. The Derp AT2 misses, and Urban Cannibal gets the kill. So 7 kills in a tier 5 battle. He killed half the enemy team. He did 2,500 damage in a tier 5 battle. It's just that kind of a machine. It's really, really good. That got him an ace tanker, unsurprisingly. He got a top gun and a sniper medal. He had 1,700 base XP for that performance, and he significantly outperformed the vast majority of his team. In fact, barring the Stug, who did 800 damage, he probably did as much as the rest of the team combined. If you throw the Stug in there, it probably isn't. But he did way better than any of the tier 5s. Although, that said, if the AT2 hadn't been on the beach, maybe they would have been able to cap. So we won't discount that guy. But that was, you know, he dominated that match with this little machine. And even though it's made of paper, even though it has, you know, really not much health to work with, if you get a match like that, it is a wicked, nasty little thing to come up against. And if you're ever in a tier 4 battle and you happen to be top tier and you see one of those on the enemy team, then yeah, you'd better be careful, because it could hurt you pretty damn badly if it's got the top gun. So, hopefully I've not spoiled the secret for anybody that has had this as their low tier seal clubber, but you know, It's a pretty nice machine if you can get behind that kind of playstyle, if you don't mind the fact that it doesn't have any armor or any hit points to work with, or it doesn't have a turret to work with. It's a very, very good low-tier machine, and a well-driven one is a definite danger to anybody. Even in a tier 6 battle, it can still really pull its weight. It can still do a lot of damage, and there aren't that many low tiers where you can say actually they scale up very well, but this is one of them. So if you enjoyed this replay, you can hit the like button, you can leave any comments below, you can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.